This is where a wood rasp, a fine wood rasp or a file comes in handy to smooth out any little spots that were left by where the saw blade changed direction. Sometimes there's little whoops to kind of smooth out. So I'll go around and do all that now. So what I want to do now is put a tiny bit of caulk in any crack. I'm going to use a handle of a small brush to add a little fillet, and we'll let this dry. It'll get a light sanding one more time, and then we'll put on coats of paint. So here it is after paint, and you might be wondering, I had a little bit of a ding right here. I'm going to fill this in with some wax, but here's John's logo. Okay, so here's where we are. I've done a little repair with wax on the model. I put a couple holes in the back for screws, and our objective is going to be to put this in sand, and we're going to put aluminum, pour aluminum in, and cast this into aluminum. So I have a flask, a plywood flask, and I want in the bottom of the flask. The top will be just filled with sand with the pour holes, but this will be something like this. So to facilitate that, this is what we do. So before I start putting sand in, I'm going to use a little bit of talc as a separator to keep the sand from sticking to the model, making it release easier. I'm using Petrobond oil sand, which you use again and again. And so it has lumps in it, and you just don't want those lumps to get on the model itself. So here's what we have after we've knocked off the sand. We have the riser and the vent. And you can tell, it's still warm. You can tell we had a lot of flashing. The whole case lifted up. But this isn't bad. This can all be trimmed off. Whew, toasty. A couple little voids. This corner's a little rounded. But overall, I am really happy with how that turned out. So, there we go. So here's what we have so far. The finish is dry on the wood. You can see the live edge is still here. You can see that in the previous video. But ready for the logo. So here's our logo. I have some stainless steel pins installed on the back. And we're going to install it something like that. And I'll lay this out and I'll tap on it with a hammer and we'll make little dents in the wood where the stainless steel posts want to be. And I'll come back and I'll drill some holes and we'll install this and glue it to the board. This gap right now is a little over an inch and I want it to be maybe half an inch off. I want just enough off of the board to give a nice shadow line. And between the redwood, the stainless steel, and the aluminum, this should be an outdoor capable piece. So should be able to handle, there's no rusting or anything like that. And the redwood it'll silver out if it's left outside, but it's really durable when it comes to weather resistance. So, and whether or not this ends up being something that gets used inside or gets mounted on a building, I think it looks pretty good. Let me something like that. Really happy with it. It's mounted up on those stainless steel rods. Little shadow. Yeah, I think that looks really good. So, put a provision to hang it on the wall in the back, but I'm not sure exactly how John will use it, but I hope he likes it. There you go.